today I'm going to talk about how, with all the complexity that we're seeing, with all of the infrastructure that we need to connect, with all the on chain, off chain things that are happening, how can we make this coordination, this orchestration not be your problem? How can we help you in making sure that you can focus on the most important thing, which is your customers? So, we've come a long way in the last 10, 15 years. We've come a long way from when smart contracts were first available, right? The first smart contracts were relatively simple. They did a simple transfer between two parties on the same chain. In the last 10 years, this has evolved. We now have a world where we've got multiple smart contracts. You've got multiple cross counterparties. You're dealing with hundreds of public and private chains. You need access to data. With all this complexity, institutions who really just are trying to get assets on chain are having to deal with solving a ton of infrastructure problems. They're having to deal with a ton of slow to market, resource intensive problems that aren't actually solving the customer problem at its core. And so at Chainlink, for the last few years, we've been focused on helping our customers and helping our partners solve this problem. And as you all know, yesterday we launched the Chainlink Runtime Environment, CRE. CRE is what we have in mind to provide this layer of orchestration. It's a layer of orchestration that gives you the ability to take the next step in the evolution of smart contracts. Institutional grade smart contracts. These are contracts that have access to data. They have access to interoperability amongst hundreds of public and private chains. You can communicate to and from your financial systems. It has built-in compliance, and at its core, it's got privacy. We'll talk a little bit about that. So CRE helps developers write these institutional grade smart contracts by writing workflows. They can write these workflows in TypeScript. They can write these workflows in Go. These workflows can be triggered by on-chain events. They can be triggered by off-chain events. They can be triggered by a schedule. Why is this important? Well, we want to provide faster time to market for our customers. We want to make sure that they can get their customer problem solved a lot quicker than they are today. We do this by providing a variety of capabilities, some would call primitives. These capabilities allow developers to do a lot of different things. As an example, one of the things we provide is blockchain abstraction. So instead of developers having to figure out how do I connect to and talk to all the various blockchains, how do I worry about finality, how do I worry about block sizes, we abstract all of that away. We give that value right back to the developers so they can focus on solving customer problems. We do this in a variety of different ways. We provide a variety of different capabilities. And one of the newest capabilities that we announced yesterday is the Chainlink Confidential Compute. This unlocks privacy for institutions. Why is privacy important? Well, privacy isn't just a core fundamental requirement. It's an expectation. The firms that are going to come on chain need to make sure that they can protect their client data, they can protect their trading strategies, they can protect their business logic. And these things are the things that make them really competitive in the market. And so the adoption of blockchain technology, will only accelerate if and only if we can help to ensure things such as data confidentiality and privacy are there. And Chainlink Confidential Compute does this. It provides a new class of private smart contracts. The way we do this is through kind of three layers. We provide a credential management platform, which allows you to take your credentials. So if you need to talk to an external system, you need to talk to an internal system and secure it, we provide a decentralized way to secure it. We use Chainlink DKG, we use threshold encryption, we use a lot of fancy words, and we use something that we call a vault dawn. This makes sure that no one person has access to your entire secret. The second thing we do is we introduced the ability for end-to-end workflows to be run inside of a confidential execution environment. And so what this means is, as a developer, you can choose to run the entire workflow that you've written inside of something that is completely private, something that's completely concealed. We do this by bringing TEE technology, which is trusted execution environment technology, to blockchains. And then finally, we do this via verifiability. So anything that's running within the confines of this execution environment, you as a user can provide attestation to your customers, you can provide attestation to your compliance team that what is running this way at this time. So with privacy at its core, one of the other foundational elements of CRE is reliability. So I mentioned that we abstract away the blockchain for developers. As part of that, we also guarantee execution. So that is the reliability that we provide from an execution perspective. The second reliability is we provide a variety of different deployment mechanisms for your workflow. Primarily, we deploy workflows to a distributed multi-node network, which isn't reliant on any one cloud provider, any one data center. And this allows us to have a pretty wide range of redundancy so that your workflows can continue running, whether one region of a cloud provider goes down or one data center loses power. Finally, we provide extensibility. And this is probably one of the most important aspects of what we've done in the last year, which is allowing developers to build and power applications on top of CRE. This modularity, this reusability is actually something that we internally at Chainlink have adopted significantly. A lot of the standards, a lot of the things that we've been building over the last year have been built on CRE and are actually being used by customers today. And I want to go through two examples. So the first is delivery versus payment. With equities, commodities, treasuries all coming on chain, all becoming tokenized assets, the idea of making sure that your DVP transaction is secure is incredibly, incredibly important. With traditional financial systems, DVP was hindered by the siloed infrastructure. It was hindered by manual processes and resulted in a lot of delays, a lot of counterparty risks, and at the end of the day, settlement failures. We've built DVP standard by the DVP standard powered by CRE to resolve these things. So the DVP standard automates and secures on-chain execution. And there's two paths here that I can talk about. So one is on-chain payments. If you're making an on-chain payment and you're going through a transaction, CRE in the middle of that transaction will help you execute that settlement simultaneously as the payment's happening. From an off-chain payments perspective, CRE will wait for a transaction to occur. It will then escrow the asset on the blockchain, and then it will confirm that that transaction has occurred before it unlocks that asset. Now, we do this both from a single chain and multi-chain perspective. As an example, we demonstrated this multi-chain perspective earlier this year, where we had Connexus as the private chain, we had Ondo as the public chain, and CRE was in the middle handling the transactions. What ends up happening is, in this case, there's events that CRE is listening to on Ondo chain. When an event happens, it puts the asset into escrow. It waits for confirmation from the the private chain in Connexus, and then it makes a settlement confirmation. So this is one way we've been using CRE to power a standard that already exists in the market. Another way that we've been handling CRE to power additional services is existing messaging standards like ISO and blockchain operations are challenging to manage today. They have challenges because the infrastructure is different. There's traditional systems and blockchain technology that you're converting into. You're dealing with mapping the traditional financial instructions to blockchain instructions. You can definitely do this. It's complicated, it's involved, and it requires a lot of maintenance. What we've done is built on top of CRE, a bridging layer. Basically, it allows you to take any ISO message and convert it into a blockchain operation, and then convert it back into a message that the customer application can use. So in this example, we're showing a CRE client that's inside of the customer application. It is acting on the behalf of the customer application and talking to CRE. This allows you to have the customer application not only talk to CRE and Chainlink's on-chain standards, but it actually allows you to talk to third-party technical on-chain products. And it allows you to continue using the audit and traceability operations that exist within the organization. So I'm going to go through a quick example of what this is like. The example is going to be, we're going to show an example distributor application. The application is going to submit a request for subscription. It's going to do an on-chain subscription request. And when it does that, two things are going to happen. One is we're going to see a blockchain operation happening where a Swift message is going to come in from the customer application, goes into CRE. CRE will translate that into a blockchain operation. And then once that's done, CRE will validate that execution has actually happened. Once that happens, it will then send a message back to the customer application via Swift. So here we're logging into the distributor application. We're handling the submit for request. We're putting in a simple submit for stablecoin subscription. And then you'll see two things happening here. One is the blockchain operation at the top. This SETR 010 is a Swift message. We've basically translated it from the customer's application to blockchain transaction or blockchain operation. And then we verified that event with 4 signatures from our nodes. And then finally, it then sends a message back via Swift to the customer's application. So what I've shown you are not just examples. We're actually doing this. We're doing this live today. Customers are getting value from CRE use cases. To get the value of on-chain finance, CRE provides the ability for you to build institutional grade smart contracts. You have access to data. You have access to hundreds of public and private chains. You have access to your external systems, your internal systems, and you can do this in a very privacy-focused way. You don't have to build all of this. The CRE exists today to help you accelerate what you're trying to do, which is build value for your teams and your products. So if you're interested in learning more, CRE is available as of yesterday. You can download it. You can install the SDK. You can start writing workflows. Please do. If you're interested in learning more, you can come to our developer lounge where we've got a ton of folks who are helping out set people up. If you want to learn more, you can definitely reach out to us, or please, please, please find me after the talk. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.